So here are deadly mistakes many foreigners make when they eat ramen in Japan. I would say many foreigners unfortunately may miss the best ramen experience. I've eaten ramen more than 100 times, maybe more than 1,000 times. So in this video, I'm gonna share the things you should know before you eat ramen to enjoy the most. So after watching this video, you will have best ramen experience ever. So the first mistake many foreigners make when they eat ramen in Japan is not ordering the most famous menu in that restaurant. Once you arrive at ramen restaurant, you will notice there are so many kinds of menus such as soy sauce ramen, miso ramen, shio ramen, and pork soup ramen. So I see sometimes foreigners hesitate to order. They eventually pick randomly from the picture. That is actually so bad, I think. If it's the first time to go to that ramen restaurant, you wanna try the best ramen there, right? If you wanna try the best ramen at the restaurant, you should pick the menu at the top left on the vending machine. They basically put the most popular menu or most recommended menu there. But of course, sometimes they don't have a vending machine. You need to order directly to the staff. In that case, you should ask staff what the best menu, what the recommendation or something. Of course, they kindly recommend or tell you what's the most popular menu in that restaurant. So anyway, remember, top left on the vending machine is basically the most popular menu or recommended menu in that restaurant. The next deadly mistakes many foreigners make is ordering dried sardine ramen. Based on my experience, some foreigners don't like dried sardine ramen. It's because they use a lot of dried sardine for the soup, so the taste of soup is a bit fishy for you guys. Dried sardine ramen is basically soy sauce ramen, but of course there is a soy sauce ramen made with chicken. So I don't say you shouldn't try the soy sauce ramen, but if it's hard for you to know what types of soup the ramen restaurant uses, it's a better idea to not go to soy sauce ramen. If you want to go to safer, it's a good idea to order pork soup ramen. I think many foreigners like it. If you are a Muslim and you can't order the pork soup ramen, there is a ramen restaurant called Ichiran. They actually the famous pork soup ramen, but they also have halal ramen as well, so you should go there. Well, I'm actually a big fan of dried sardine ramen. I actually want you guys try it someday, but if you are a ramen beginner and not many times to eat ramen, ordering a dried sardine ramen could be a big mistake for you. So be careful. The next deadly mistake is you don't check extra noodle option. You may not be full even though you eat ramen because the amount of one bowl ramen is not really enough for especially young guys. So there are basically two ways to get more noodles. The first one is extra serving noodle, which is omori in Japanese. The second one is extra ramen noodle, which is kaedama in Japanese. The difference between them is you get extra noodle at beginning or later. And an important thing you should know is basically ramen restaurant have one of them. They don't have both options. So if they serve omori, you need to order at beginning. You can't order it later. On the other hand, if they serve kaedama, in that case, you can order whenever you want, but most people order it before they finish 80% of their ramen. Because if you finish the eating whole ramen, when you order extra noodle, you don't have any ingredients, so you only eat noodle, right? If you order kaedama, you should remain certain amount of ingredients and soup. Otherwise, you only eat noodles, so be careful. So let's check what kind of extra noodle option they have. Is it omori or is it kaedama? You should check it. The next crucial mistakes many foreigners make is waiting for your friend to get ramen. When you go to ramen restaurant, sometimes you will get your ramen first before your friend gets. Well, especially you two order different menus. I see sometimes foreigners are waiting for their friend to get ramen. It's really kind, so sweet of course, but it's not a good idea to wait for your friend to get ramen. You should eat ramen shortly after you get it, even though your friends still don't get it. Of course, talking about my experience, I don't wait my friend to get ramen if I get ramen first. And I also don't want my friends to wait for me to get ramen. I want my friends to eat ramen shortly after they get it. The reason is obviously if you wait for your friends to get ramen, the noodle getting soggy. If noodle getting soggy, it's really bad. Your ramen experience completely worse. Don't wait your friend to get ramen. You should eat ramen shortly after you get it. From restaurant's viewpoint, they also feel bad because they do every processes as quick as they can, but you just wait your friends to get ramen. So don't wait for your friends in the ramen restaurant. It's actually no problem at all. The following deadly mistakes is actually related to last one, which is to chat when you eat ramen. Yeah, of course you can chat in ramen restaurant, but you would notice many customers don't chat but focus on eating. You already understand the reason, right? I already explained, because if you chat in that time, the ramen noodle getting soggy, right? If you chat a lot, of course ramen restaurant staffs feel uncomfortable as well. So it's a good idea to chat with your friends and share the opinion after you leave ramen restaurant. It's not too late. The next deadly mistakes is you put topping from beginning. If you go to ramen restaurant, you will find a lot of toppings on the table and all of them are actually free to use. So it's really tempting to use all of them at the beginning. Don't use them at the beginning. Try original taste first. It's really important, I think. For instance, there's famous topping. Most ramen restaurants put the garlic on the table. Yeah, it's pretty tasty, of course, using garlic. But if you use garlic from beginning, taste of soup is already full of garlic, right? So my advice is don't use toppings from the beginning, but use it in the middle. Let's say 50% of your ramen is finished. You can put topping then. If you put topping from the middle, you can actually experience two types of ramen without paying extra. So it's really good idea to use toppings from the middle. So don't use toppings from beginning. The next deadly mistake is you don't slurp noodle. Well, I know slurping noodle is bad manner in your countries, I think, but in Japan, it is a good idea to slurp noodle. Of course, there is a benefit that we slurp noodle. Ramen is more delicious if you slurp noodle because the flavor of soups goes around. The taste is not only from your mouth but also your nose, your ears as well, right? Well, actually slurping noodle makes your ramen taste is way better. If you eat ramen in Japan, you can slurp noodle. No worry about that. You will have better ramen experience if you slurp noodle. The next deadly mistakes is you go to ramen restaurant around lunchtime. I think most ramen restaurants you go to are really popular. So if you go to at lunchtime, there is a long queue. Well, actually, I've several times given up eating ramen because a long queue. You should expect a long queue at lunchtime if the ramen restaurants are really popular. Especially if you are a tourist. You don't want to waste your time, right? So in that case, it's a good idea to go to ramen restaurant around 11:15 because most ramen restaurants open during 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. The number of customers is increasing from 11:30. If the ramen restaurant is really popular, actually from around 11 o'clock, the queue is already there. It's a good idea go to ramen restaurant around or before 11:15. If it's 11:15, it's too early for you. Another option is going to ramen restaurant after 1:30. After 1:30 is basically a time a queue getting shorter. So don't go to ramen restaurant at lunchtime if you don't want to waste your time. Especially if that ramen restaurant is really popular, you should go to 11:15 or after 1:30 is a good idea. The next three mistakes you make when you go to ramen restaurant is not bring cash. As I already discussed in another video, there are so many restaurants and shops you can only use cash. Most ramen restaurants are actually cash only. Don't forget to bring cash, okay? The worst scenario is you are a long queue and then waiting such a long time, you don't have a cash, so you can't order the ramen. That's really horrible. You should bring cash when you go to ramen restaurant. In addition, I recommend you should bring cash, of course, but should be 1,000 bell is better because some vending machines are not adapted to 5,000 or 10,000 yen bill. Yeah, of course, like shop assistants exchange your money if your money is big. Sometimes they are busy and they don't want to touch money because money is really dirty, right? Of course, bring cash is important, but with 1,000 bells is more important, I think. So don't forget to bring 1,000 bells to go to ramen restaurant. Now at this point of the video, you would be wondering another mistakes many foreigners make. That's why next step is watching this video where I will cover other mistakes many foreigners make in Japan.